Picture this, besties. You're a sophomore in high school, and suddenly a baseball bat slips out of a classmate's hands, flies through the air, and smashes directly into your face. I'm not even kidding. Your nose is crushed into a distorted U shape, your brain swells rapidly, and you have multiple skull fractures and 2 completely shattered eye sockets. By the time you get to the nurse's office, your brain is swelling so rapidly that you can't even remember your own mother's name. She asks, "What year is it?" You say, 1998. It was actually 2002. Minutes later, your body starts shutting down. You have repeated seizures, you stop breathing, and doctors are forced to put you into a medically induced coma just to keep you alive.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Amethyst back with another deep dive.
Where we put on our blindfolds, grab our lattes, and spill the absolute hottest tea on the books everyone is talking about. Now Today we are breaking down a book that literally changed the way I look at my entire life. We are taking a deep dive into exactly how we can stop our toxic patterns of self-sabotage and rebuild our lives from the ground up, starting with one terrifying yet exciting premise. If you get 1% worse every day for 1 year, you decline nearly down to 0. But if you get 1% better each day for 1 year, you end up 37 times better by the time you're done. That is according to James Clear in his book entitled Atomic Habits.
Now let's go back to the story. The boy in that story is actually James, the author himself. After this horrific injury, his life was on pause. He had double vision for weeks. When he finally tried to go back to his lifelong passion, baseball, he suffered the absolute humiliation of being cut from the varsity team. But here is where the story shifts. When he went to college, he decided he couldn't control the injury, but he can control his habits. While everyone else was staying up late, James just built good sleep habits. He kept his room tidy. He started lifting weights. It sounds so small, almost pathetic, right? But these minor improvements gave him a sense of control. 6 years after being hit in the face with that baseball bat, he was selected as the top male athlete at his university and named an academic All-American. He didn't recover overnight. He recovered by using what he calls atomic habits. The power of 1%. So, what is an atomic habit? James introduces this concept called the aggregation of marginal gains, basically the 1% rule. Let me paint a picture for you like a literal movie scene. It's 2003, and the British cycling team is the absolute laughingstock of the sports world, having won just a single gold medal in 110 years. Bike manufacturers literally refused to sell them gear because they were so embarrassed that the Brits would ruin their brand image. Enter Dave Brailsford, their new coach, who relentlessly commits to a strategy of finding 1% improvements in overlooked areas. They rubbed alcohol on tires for better grip, painted the inside of the team truck white to spot tiny pieces of dust, and even hired a surgeon to teach the riders how to wash their hands so they wouldn't catch a cold. And the payoff? Just 5 years later, they absolutely dominated the Beijing Olympics, taking home an astounding 60% of the gold medals. Goals versus systems and the ice cube. I felt so called out by this, honestly, because I'm always waiting for this big, dramatic movie montage to change my life. We expect progress to be a straight line, but it's not. James uses this amazing analogy of an ice cube. Imagine you're in a cold room. It's 25 degrees. You heat it up to 26. Nothing happens. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, still nothing. But then you hit 32 degrees, and the ice melts. All that work you did from 25 to 31 degrees wasn't wasted. It was stored. He calls this the plateau of latent potential. So if you've been working out for a month and you don't see abs yet, don't quit. You're just heating up the room. And we have to stop obsessing over goals, because honestly, goals are kind of trash. Yep, I said it. James Clear says we need to forget about goals and focus entirely on systems. Think about it like an airplane flying from LA to New York. If the pilot shifts the nose of the plane just 3.5 degrees south at takeoff, you end up hundreds of miles apart in Washington, D.C. instead of New York. A tiny, invisible shift completely alters your destination. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Winners and losers have the exact same goals. Every Olympian wants the gold medal. The goal isn't the difference. The system is the difference. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Identity, the ultimate cheat code. If you want to heal your life, you have to look deeper than just your goals. You have to look at your identity. Imagine two people who are trying to quit smoking, and someone offers them a cigarette. Person A says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." Sounds normal, but this person still believes they are a smoker who is just trying to be something else. Person B says, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker." Do you feel the difference? It's a tiny shift, but it changes everything. Your goal isn't to run a marathon. Your goal is to become a runner. Your goal isn't to write a book. It's to become a writer. Every single time you perform a habit, you are casting a vote for the type of person you want to become. You don't need a unanimous vote to win the election of your life. You just need the majority. The 4 laws of behavior change. So, how do we actually hack our brains to build these good systems? James gives us the ultimate cheat code, the 4 laws. Law number 1, make it obvious. Most of us are walking around asleep, not noticing what we're doing. In Japan, railway conductors do this weird thing called pointing and calling. They literally point at the signal and yell, "Signal is green!" It sounds silly, but it reduces errors by 85%. We need to do that for our habits. Say out loud, "I am about to eat this cookie, and I don't need it." It makes it real. Also, change your environment. If you want to eat healthier, don't put the apples in the crisper drawer where they go to die. Put them in a beautiful bowl right in the middle of the counter. You can also use habit stacking. Tie a new habit to an old one. After I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. Law number 2, make it attractive. You guys, our brains are literally wired for dopamine, and dopamine spikes when you anticipate a reward. So use temptation bundling. Link an action you want to do with an action you need to do. Tell yourself, "I only get to watch my favorite trashy reality show while I'm on the treadmill." Suddenly, working out is highly attractive. Law number 3, make it easy. Let's be real, human nature is lazy. And that's okay. Stop fighting it. Enter the 2-minute rule. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Read a chapter becomes read 1 page. Run 3 miles becomes tie my running shoes. You might think, Amethyst, reading 1 page is pointless. But it's not. You have to master the habit of showing up. You have to standardize before you can optimize. You can't optimize a habit that doesn't exist. Law number 4, make it satisfying. Our brains are stuck in the Stone Age. We want immediate gratification. But modern life is delayed. You work out today, but you don't get the fit body until next year. To stick with a habit, you need to feel an immediate sense of success. Use a habit tracker. Jerry Seinfeld famously uses a wall calendar to track his daily joke writing. Every day he writes, he puts a big red X on the calendar. His only rule? Don't break the chain. And listen, we are all human. You are going to mess up. But James has a golden rule. Never miss twice. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new habit. Forgive yourself, and make sure your very next action is a good vote. Breaking the toxic habits. But wait, what about those deeply ingrained toxic traits we just can't shake? You just invert the 4 laws. Instead of obvious, make it invisible. Spend too much time on your phone? Charge it in another room. Cut the bad habit off at the source. Instead of attractive, make it unattractive. Reframe your mindset. You aren't missing out on junk food. You are freeing yourself from a toxic burden. Instead of easy, make it difficult. Create friction. In the 1830s, Victor Hugo kept partying instead of writing his book. So he locked all of his clothes in a chest and gave the key to his assistant. He literally couldn't leave the house, and he finally wrote The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Make it impossible for yourself to fail. Instead of satisfying, make it unsatisfying. Create a habit contract. Tell your friend you owe them $100 every time you bite your nails. The immediate pain of losing money will cure you real quick. Guys, true emotional intelligence is realizing that you are not broken. You don't lack willpower. You just have the wrong system. Every time you write a page, you are a writer. And every time you start a workout, you are an athlete. You aren't just doing things to get results. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. If that doesn't make you want to jump up and change your life, I don't know what will. Quite literally, you become your habits. So, my question for you, and I'm being so serious, is what is one tiny 1% habit you can start today that proves you're actually becoming the person you want to be? Let me know in the comments because I am definitely going to be down there taking notes and probably stealing some of your ideas. And if you found this helpful, or if it gave you that little spark you needed, please hit that like button. It honestly helps the channel so much, and I appreciate you guys more than you know. Go read the book if you want the full experience. We only scratched the surface today. Thank you so much for staying with me till the end. Stay safe, stop self-sabotaging, and I will see ya in the next one. Bye!